What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a compilation of some of the videos I've made where we just make fun of dumb criminals. I figured you guys might enjoy it, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Oklahoma man leads authorities on pursuit, found hours later hiding in cow manure. I would just love to know what was going through his head, right? Like, he gets out of the car. All right, he's fleeing on foot. He's running through a field. He hears the sirens. Crap, man. They're closing in on me. There's nowhere to go. Where should I hide? He starts looking around. There's tall grass. There's the woods. He looks around a little more. He sees some cows over there, and like a light bulb appears over his head. Ah, yes, piles of cow turds. Exactly what I needed in this moment. Just runs over, dives in like somebody diving into the deep end of the pool, you know? Like, you know the Scrooge McDuck dive where you put your legs above your head? That's how he went full frontal into this cow manure, bro. You know, when they found him, they were like, oh, man, I don't want to put you in the back of my car. My backseat's gonna smell like cow poop for a week. That had to add insult to injury. He's like getting processed into the jail, just absolutely covered from head to toe in cow turd. An Oklahoma man was arrested after leading authorities on a pursuit that ended with him hiding in cow manure for hours. Police in Nowata County, Oklahoma, say 23-year-old Wolf October Berry initially fled from officers who were attempting to make a traffic stop for not wearing a seatbelt, they reported. I mean, I know you get in trouble for not wearing a seatbelt. Like, I'm not saying he wouldn't have gotten in trouble, but I just feel like you don't get in the trouble that was worth it to take them on a high-speed chase, flee on foot, and then hide and poop for hours. Like, I don't know what they do if they catch you not wearing a seatbelt. I just wear mine, but I'm going to assume it's more of a ticket than it is, like, whatever he's going to get taken in for now. He's going to get before the judge. All right, so they pulled you over for a seatbelt. You took them on a 30-mile high-speed chase before proceeding to pull over, run, and dive into a pile of cow turds. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. Like, I just don't understand why any of this went down, bro. You know, the guy who pulled him over must have been confused, too. He's like, the guy's not wearing his seatbelt, you know, I'll write him a ticket, pulls him over, all of a sudden it's a high-speed chase. He's like, I just want you to put on your seatbelt. I'm not saying that Wolf is a bad name, but I'm saying it's kind of a weird name, especially if you end up like hiding in poop. A guy named Wolf hiding in poop just makes it a little bit more bizarre than if his name was like Nathan or something. It would still be weird. I would still make fun of the Nathan that was hiding in poop, but like the name Wolf, oh, okay, man, were your parents furries or something? Like, what's going on here? Wolf October Berry. That is a name, ladies and gentlemen. It certainly is definitely a name. Berry sped away from officers and drove down a county road before crashing and continuing to flee on foot. Alright, so this happens a lot. For those of you that don't know, like, I talk about criminals like this a lot on this channel, and I don't know what it is, probably something to do with high speeds while running away from somebody, but the amount of high-speed crashes that end up with them crashing, or high-speed chases that end up with a crash, there you go. Whatever, English, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they end up in crashes so often, and I'm just saying, I don't trust my driving skills enough to ever get into a high-speed chase. I just think I would end up crashing. But if you are gonna take them on a chase, you know, you really think you're gonna get away with running from the cops, you've got to be a better driver than this, man. Like, every single time we talk about one of these, it ends up with someone crashing into something. You decided to try to drive away from the cops when you, like, aren't even a good driver in a video game, man. And I'm not saying I'm a fantastic driver, all right? I don't think I would have fared much better in this situation. I don't want anyone to misconstrue it. I don't think I'm baby driver. But that's why I'm not committing to the high-speed chase either, because I'm going to end up like a dummy crashing my car and then having to run on foot and hide in cow poop. Multiple hours in cow poop. What do you think during that time, man? Like, I feel like after 10 minutes of hiding in the cow poop, I would have just wanted to turn myself in. Like, this is really rock bottom. That's how you know you hit rock bottom, is when you're running from the cops and having to hide in piles of poop. Authorities say Berry was located later that day after hiding in cow manure for several hours. It's the several hours part that really does it for me. Like, I mean, I still wouldn't get it, but whatever. You're running through the woods, you're like, crap, I need somewhere to hide, there's some crap. So you just run over, you dive in, you didn't realize it was a cow turd, you thought it was a pile of dirt. Like, I understand how maybe that happens for a second. But for a few hours, you have to have thought it was a little cozy. Maybe it was like, you know that scene in Empire Strikes Back, the Star Wars film, where they're out on Hoth and the Tauntaun, they have to cut it open and crawl inside of it to, like, survive the night? Is that kind of what it felt like? Just a warm little cocoon of some cow turd keeping you nice and cozy while the police were looking for you? Man, he really hid in crap for hours for like no reason, really. That really adds insult to injury. It still would have been a crappy story and a crappy situation even if he got away, because you had to hide and poop for hours. But the fact that he literally laid in turds for multiple hours for no reason, he still got caught. Man, something about that. You know he's just sitting in the jail right now like, I shouldn't have hidden the turd. You know what? If I could do it all over again, I should have just taken the ticket. I would love to know if the cops knew he was in the pile of turds, but just were waiting for him to move. They were taking bets on how long he would be there. They're like, how long do you think he'll lay in that pile of crap? I don't know, 2 hours? No way. 10 minutes. They're like placing bets. The entire department's getting in on it. Meanwhile, he's just laying over there in the turd pile, just rolling in circles. Wow, this is so warm. Barry has been charged with eluding police, running a roadblock, possession of a stolen property over $1,000, and possession of a firearm and commission of a felony, according to deputies. A loaded 9mm semi-automatic was found in Barry's truck, along with stolen property he allegedly acquired by burglarizing 2 nearby properties. Oh, well, that would explain a little bit more why he ran. Like, it makes more sense than just the seatbelt thing. I still don't agree. You just shouldn't have broken into anyone's house and taken things, and you could have avoided this entire situation. But at least he didn't just go run and dive into the poop for hours over a seatbelt. That was really gonna just leave me puzzled for the rest of the day, bro. I would have been trying to eat some macaroni and cheese later. Why was he in the poop? Why didn't he just wear his seatbelt? Ah, man, I can't keep having these questions. Really, I just would not recommend running from the cops, and if you really don't want to have to run from the cops, then just don't break into 2 nearby properties. Or if you are going to break into 2 nearby properties, then don't have it all in your truck while not wearing a seatbelt. Just don't break into properties. Forget that last thing I said, but you know what I'm saying. Just like, don't do it. It's just, no one wins. And another moral of the story, cow poop does not make a fantastic hiding place. It doesn't matter how often the Google search results say it's a great place to hide. It's trolling you. They're trying to get you to dive into the turds. They don't think you're going to do it, so don't listen. Now that Google's AI is becoming sentient, it's going to start doing that. Like, it's going to start messing with people's Google results just to get something funny. Like, the president is going to Google, how to find password for iPhone. And it's going to be like, haha, I made him punch in the code for the nukes. Maybe that's what happened here. It told him, go hide in the poop. He was like, brilliant. $8 million home broken into for house party documented on social media. Oh yeah, guys, let's break into a mansion. I feel like a mansion's gonna have better security than most places, and the owner of the mansion is going to be insanely pissed if you break into it and trash it for a party. Plus, this is just one of those things where the risk reward doesn't seem that good. Like, okay, the risk is you get arrested for, I don't know, burglary, breaking and entering, a whole litany of crimes. The reward is, I don't know, you're known for committing the crime. Like, you're the guy that broke into the mansion and threw the party, but then everyone's talking about how you're the guy that broke into the mansion and threw the party, so you're probably going to get charged for the breaking and entering. It just does not seem worth the calculation in my head. And what especially makes it even stupider to me is just the photos that they posted not even trying to hide their face. Like, okay, some stuff was stolen, and here's a dude who posted a selfie with a bunch of the rings on. As you can tell, made sure that his face was clearly in view of the picture. What an absolute criminal mastermind. And listen, I'm not saying that this guy took anything from the house. Who knows? He might have just taken the selfie. Someone else could have taken things. Like, who knows? But what is known is that you're the guy in the selfie with the stuff from the house. So at the bare minimum, the police know you're involved and they're asking you questions. A sheriff's office is trying to identify the people responsible for breaking into a multi-million-dollar home and throwing a large party. The Walton County Sheriff's Office posted about the incident Monday afternoon, saying deputies were called to the home in Watercolor early Saturday morning, and they received a noise complaint from security for the unincorporated community located on the northwest Gulf Coast of Florida. Of course, it's Florida. You guys know the drill. It's not a real Scrubae day unless one of the videos takes place for some reason in the state of Florida, dude. Everything goes down there. I love how the police are like, oh, we need help identifying the people. You're telling me that you don't know who they are when they posted the selfie? I mean, probably had no record or something, but still, it should be relatively easy to track this down. I don't really know what these kids expected. We're gonna break into a huge multi-million-dollar mansion, all right? We're gonna trash it, throw a huge party. We're going to get a noise complaint because we're in a really bougie, fancy community, and we're gonna post selfies the entire time. time. Like, did you really think no one was gonna call the cops on the insane house party on the house that's supposed to be empty? Yeah, I swear the guy doesn't live there anymore, but there's some insane party going on. I guess some teenagers ended up buying the $8 million mansion, probably with their fancy schmancy crypto. Yeah, I think they were going to be catching on pretty quick. In fact, if the security guard in the neighborhood went by, he would have known too. I think it's probably the security guard's job to make sure everybody there is supposed to be there. Oh wow, 80 cars in front of a mansion that's supposed to be abandoned. Nothing suspicious there. That loud music is probably just the ghost getting groovy. Here's another one of the pictures that was in the article. There was a bunch more, but, not hiding their faces at all. Hey guys, look at us. OMG, we broke into this mansion. We're so quirky. It's nuts that they just kind of posted this on a public story on any social media and expected nobody to like screenshot it or notice it. I feel like everybody has at least one person on their social media that would show it to someone, that would say something. Like, there's no way everybody that you're friends with on social media is super cool with the idea of you breaking into mansions and throwing a party. And especially because stuff ended up going missing from the house. I don't know if anyone in any of the pictures had anything to do with that. I'm not accusing them of anything, but especially knowing that is out there when they blast all these out saying that they're looking for these people to answer questions about what's missing, someone's gonna say something, man. Like, if you're going to do insanely stupid things, I've never understood the desire to post them as publicly as human possible. Hey guys, just stole a car, LOL, on my way to rob a bank now. Like, what are you doing, man? You just shouldn't do it, period. It's a bad idea to break into a mansion. But if you are going to do it, why post the incriminating evidence on the internet? Oh, hey, we definitely want to get caught for this. Maybe it's just all for attention from the parents or something, but there has to be some logical explanation why these people were just so dumb. And what really sucks is there probably is no logical explanation. It's probably just like, oh no, I thought it was cool. An open house party is against the law, the sheriff's office said in a new release. An open house party is a home you break into and it's a burglary. The homeowners were not aware of the party, according to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff's office stated when deputies arrived, most of the people left the scene. Since then, videos are circulating on Snapchat, Instagram, and other social media platforms with some of the highlights, including where some of the people turn the foyer of the $8 million home into a boxing ring. I mean, anytime you get a huge crowd of people into any situation and like they're already breaking the rules, mob mentality is going to kick in. I'm not surprised that they ended up establishing a boxing ring in the middle of the mansion. Duh, it was a giant party. Someone was going to get into a fight. And on top of it, like, dude, remember the time we boxed in the mansion, man? That was so sick. I love how they're still sharing the videos. You know, like at the time of the party, maybe you get caught up in the moment and you post it. It's still really stupid. I don't get it. But the fact that they're still sharing and circulating them, even though the cops are just saying that they're looking for everybody involved, goes to show how poorly thought out this was. Hey guys, did you see that the cops are looking for these videos? 18 attachments. It's just all the videos the cops are looking for. Sure am glad we recorded all of these since we were all involved. They just add 911 to the group chat. Please do not come look for us. We had nothing to do with the party. Like, man, dude, these people seriously are not criminal masterminds. Obviously, anyone who breaks into a mansion to throw a party isn't. But goodness gracious, it's almost embarrassing how much they just incriminated themselves. Videos posted by the sheriff's office showed people boxing in the home, and deputies said the home was damaged during the party and items were stolen. Apart from the damage caused and items stolen, it's a complete violation of someone's home that you can't put a price on. The sheriff's office stated that the feeling when you know someone went into your closet, tried on your clothes, and used your bathroom doesn't have a dollar amount attached to it, especially in a place where you're supposed to feel safe. Yeah, it would definitely be uncomfortable knowing that like thousands of strangers were in my house, especially if I had a mansion. Like, oh, thousands of people just know where this mansion is, the layout of it, and then I have a bunch of expensive things here. Yep, I'm supposed to feel perfectly safe, like it's just basically waiting till somebody robs you. And maybe that's just me being paranoid. In fact, I'm like 95% sure that's me being paranoid. But still, no one would like knowing that their home was broken into, and I think it would add insult to injury that your home was broken into for something as dumb as just a random house party. And not even by smart people, but by people that just posted the videos of them doing it online. Like, oh, okay, so not only did you guys break into my house, but you were dumb about it, and now I feel unsafe. It's just the trifecta of suck. If you were there, know someone who was there, were invited, arrested, knows who circulated the flyers for the party, because we know about that too, you're asked to come forward. Do yourself a favor and let us know. Come clean and give us the information we need to hold those responsible. And then they say where to contact them. I'm not advocating snitching, but someone's going to snitch. There was just too many people at that party for everyone to keep their mouth shut, especially now that they've posted this. Someone's parents gonna know they were at the party and think their kid's gonna get in trouble and make them say something. There's just too many people involved for you not to get in trouble, especially when you've been posting your face online. There's no plausible deniability. That's not me. Oh, this selfie of you in the house is not you. Like, it's just not gonna work very well. Anytime there's this many moving parts, there's just no way it's gonna stay as secret as it should or needs to stay. So if you were involved, then good luck. Hopefully you didn't post the selfies of you there. And now that everybody knows someone's gonna say something, it's just gonna be a race for everyone to say something first so they can get like the best deal and avoid the most trouble. So yeah, good luck. Seriously, don't know why you would want to break into an $8 million house to throw a party. You're just gonna get yourself in massive amounts of trouble. Definitely not worth it. Would not recommend. And if you are going to do it, don't post it on the internet and incriminate yourself. If you do anything illegal, then just don't post it on Instagram. I thought that was obvious. I thought that was just something everybody knew, but apparently not. Man steals patrol car and responds to call intoxicated. Like, I don't know why you would choose to steal a police car. Just don't steal any car. Grand Theft Auto is not a very sick crime. But that being said, if you're gonna steal a cop car's gotta be the worst one. And what makes you, when you're like in the cop car you just stole, think, I better go respond to this call, because when the real cops show up, they won't be mad that I'm there. They're going to be like, oh, sick, 2 birds with 1 stone. We're responding to the call, and we're going to get the dummy that stole a cop car earlier tonight. Literally the easiest job of all time. Jeremiah James Taylor, 33, allegedly broke into the unstaffed Park County Sheriff's Lake George substation and stole a marked 2013 Dodge Durango, and he went to the location of a domestic violence call before 3:30 a.m. that was broadcast on the Teller County Police Channel. The people at the home said he appeared to be intoxicated and asked, where's the old man that's gonna shoot someone? When Teller County Sheriff deputies arrived, he sped off. He really thought it was Grand Theft Auto, where you can go to the police station and like steal your car back when it's impounded. I cannot believe that he stole a cop car, hopped on the radio, and then went. Obviously, whatever situation he responded to, the real cops were going to be there trying to like prevent it from getting out of control and actually help the people. But imagine before the real cops get there, you see the cop car pull up, you go outside, you're like, here's the situation, here's what's going on, and out hops just some drunk dude who's like, hey, where's the guy of the 911 call? I just am a police officer and I saved the day. And you're like, I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I can venture out and guess that you might not be a real cop. No, I am. What gave away that I'm not a real cop? I don't know. I don't think cops are allowed to be drunk while driving their police car. Unless they're trying to not be a cop anymore. Like, you're definitely getting fired if you start showing up to calls drunk. Hello, everybody. Is there a cat in the tree? Yes, there is. Well, then I'll hit it with my car. Like, I don't know if they would be very cool with that. I can't believe he was still there when the real cops pulled up, too. They pulled up and said, hey, wait, he's still here? Hold on. Who is that? Is that the stolen car? What? I made a joke about 2 birds with 1 stone because I thought there was no way he was dumb enough to just stay there that long, but apparently he was. It should have been obvious. If this was already a not very well thought out crime, I should have known there was going to be no further thought into it. One of my biggest concerns was that we were going to have a high-speed pursuit with a law enforcement vehicle crashing into an innocent citizen, Park County Sheriff Tom McGraw said. Taylor was spotted 2 hours later, and when deputies pursued him, they say he took off, hitting speeds of 110 miles per hour, broke several traffic laws during the chase. Bro, the sheriff's name is like a knockoff Tim McGraw, though. Mom, can we go see a country concert? No, we have Tim McGraw at home. Tim McGraw at home? Hi, I'm Sheriff Tom McGraw. This guy really loved his stolen cop car. He stole the cop car, goes to the call. The police shows up, so he runs away. And instead of getting out of the cop car, putting it back, anything of the sort, just running, he just keeps driving around for 2 hours, just responding to different calls. How many people were like, yeah, I called the cops and some random drunk guy showed up. That was weird. I mean, you think he would get out of the car at some point and realize the gig is up. They know that he's stolen the car, but just keeping it cruising for as long as possible is a very bizarre move if you don't want to get caught. Nah, whatever. They'll just think I'm one of their cars. Did he not realize that they're all like marked with different numbers and it's very obvious to everybody which one is taken because they'll just tell them what number is taken? Ah, it's the ultimate cover. If I'm in a cop car, the police will never know I'm not one of them. He thinks he's like Solid Snake in the cardboard box crawling around in Metal Gear Solid. That level of disguise, nobody, everybody knew. 110 miles per hour, that's absolutely nuts. You know you would be confused if you're just driving down the road and a police car flies past you at 110 without the lights on, and then a bunch of other cop cars chasing that car. You're like, well, did he go rogue or what is going on? Is this just training? The police are just out practicing their high-speed chase by having one of their friends drive 110 around on the roads. Taylor crashed on Matacat Road around mile marker 4 and ran into the woods, police said. When deputies caught up with him, he was armed with a knife and non-compliant, and they deployed a taser and an officer shot one round. No deputies were injured. The sheriff's office said Taylor suffered self-inflicted knife wounds and was taken to the hospital after he was taken into custody. In addition to the list of charges he's facing for the incident, he was also on probation for menacing, theft, and DUI, along with being investigated for several other crimes that occurred in the area previous to the Park County Sheriff's Office burglary. And the charges in this case are aggravated motor vehicle theft, vehicular eluding, impersonating a peace officer, obstruction, resisting arrest, reckless endangerment, second-degree burglary, and reckless driving. Dude, that list sounded more like a bad guy's to-do list than it should be one guy's charges for a single night, you know? Like, tell me that's not something you would see hanging up in a superhero movie in the villain's lair. To do aggravated robbery, to do vehicular eluding. Like, he's just going through all these. The impersonating a peace officer is one of the more interesting ones. That's what happens when you're driving around in a cop car. And responding to calls, I just really don't know what this guy was thinking. And the fact that he was in it for hours, did he just not think he was going to get caught? And plus, I don't know for sure, this is all alleged, you know. If he is allegedly behind some insane crime wave in the area, then they're definitely going to investigate it very thoroughly now. If there's one way to guarantee you stay on the police's radar, it's probably breaking into one of their stations, stealing a car, taking them on a chase, and then making them chase you through the woods. Like, that's probably gonna make them pay some closer attention to you from henceforth. So if you are a career criminal, what, did you just want to play on the hardcore playthrough? I think a high-speed chase in general is always a horrible idea, but it's especially a bad idea if you're intoxicated driving the stolen police car. You're not gonna do better than the people trained to have the high-speed chase, and you're definitely not gonna do better if you're wasted while you're trying to do it. I'll be able to make the turn. Next thing you know, he's got to run through the woods because he crashed it. Everyone at the police office, though, is talking about what SUV they're going to get next. They're like, hear me out, dude. What if we get the supercharged Dodge Durango, since we're going to have to get a new vehicle anyways? Huh? What do you think? They just get like a Lamborghini Urus police car, just keep it rolling. Anyways, guys, I think that'll do it. I just thought this entire story was absolutely bonkers. Don't steal a police car. It should be really obvious to everyone, but especially don't do it and then take them on a chase. If you enjoy man bitten by gator he mistook for a dog in Florida, deputies say. He was hospitalized and the gator was captured. This gator's got a one-way trip to either being destroyed or like a really weird gator zoo in Florida. I don't think they can just let him back out after he's bit someone, which sucks because apparently, according to this story, it wasn't like the gator went looking for a person. It was kind of like somebody walked up to the gator and said, "Aw, look at the puppy." I don't know if that's actually what he said, but still, this is so funny. Not because he's like in the hospital. I'm glad he's going to be okay. He got to the hospital. He's going to be fine. But just because this means for a moment before this guy was bitten by an alligator, he really thought he was about to just like pet a dog. Oh, it's awesome. I'm at this motel party. I'm gonna go pet this dog. It's gonna be sick. What a great way to end the night. Oh my God, it's a dinosaur. Alligators are just leftover dinosaurs. They were so tough, ugly, and mean that even the asteroid couldn't kill them. They're still just kicking around Florida. Them and the anacondas are gonna start having insane battles in the Everglades. It's gonna be like Deadliest Warrior Nature Edition. A man was bitten by an alligator he thought was a dog Tuesday morning in Sarasota County. The incident occurred at 12:30 a.m. at War Mineral Springs Motel on South Tamiami Trail in Northport, according to a report from the Tampa station. All right, dude, I'm not trying to give you life advice. You do whatever you want. You're a Florida man. You do things your way. That being said, one suggestion, even if it was a dog, right? Hypothetically, let's say it was a dog. I would not recommend running after stray dogs that are hanging out behind motels at 12:30. 30 minutes past midnight, no dogs that are fluffy and cute are out roaming around without their owner behind a motel. I mean, maybe if they got lost, I guess that's fair. But still, I just don't recommend chasing stray animals in the middle of the night because you never know, dude. If the dog's been stray long enough, it might give you rabies or it just might be an alligator. I don't know what was going on in the motel room, okay? I have no clue. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. That being said, maybe there was something that made him maybe see things a little bit differently, you know? Because I just don't understand how you confuse an alligator with a dog. Like, this isn't, oh, I thought the coyote was a dog. I thought the wolf was a dog. Alligator, very short, very long, big tail, you know? Even the small guys have the tail on them that's insanely long. I don't necessarily think it looks like a dog. I've never seen a dog tail that looks like an alligator tail. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right species. Maybe Florida dogs are like bred with alligators to have the tail or something. But I just feel like there has to be some type of explanation as to why he wasn't aware that it was an alligator and thought it was a dog. Because you have a long time approaching the alligator before it's close enough to bite you. Like, he had to have gotten close enough to the alligator for it to bite him and still not realized that it wasn't a dog. Investigators said the man was walking outside the motel overnight when he spotted a dark figure that appeared to look like a dog with a long leash. A sheriff's spokesperson wrote in an email to WTSP TV. You know what? He did get bit by an alligator. Maybe the police were just like, we're not gonna give you a hard time. Your night is already going bad enough. You're walking around behind a motel in the middle of the night. You got bit by an alligator you thought was a dog. We're just gonna take you to the hospital and get this fixed up. Just don't worry about it. No, man, I swear it was a dog, bro. It was going arf arf and it had a leash and the guy walking him said, go ahead and pet my dog. It just wasn't a dog. Where's the guy who was walking him? All right, we're just gonna say that you thought it looked like a dog with a leash, okay? That's just what we're gonna go with. Sick, man. Awesome. Do you guys want any of the... Nope, don't even finish the sentence, because if you tell us, we're gonna have to do something about it. Oh, alright. It sorta sucked that I got bit by an alligator, though. I wish there was something that could have prevented this. Like, I don't know, the guy walking him could have told me that it's actually an alligator. Yep, alright, man. Alright. I've pet alligators before. Last time Shh. Don't tell us what you take. We don't want to know, all right? Whatever it is clearly makes alligators look like dogs, and that's what you need to leave it at. That's okay. We don't want to know more. This is how you take a night and make sure it ends in like the worst possible way. I feel like being bitten by an alligator is a huge buzzkill. You're at the motel, you're like, it's lit, everything's chilling. Next thing you know, an alligator's hanging off of your leg, and you're like, oh my goodness, it was not a dog after all. The alligator must have been confused too. It's just minding its business, trying to like walk into a retention pond or something. All of a sudden, someone's running up on it. Look at the cute little puppy. Who's a good little dog? Are you lost? Like trying to touch it. Whoa, okay. I live in Florida. I'm used to crazy people, but this is another level. This guy's trying to act like I'm Fido when I'm actually Steve Irwin's favorite thing. Ah, that's a crocodile. I was close. Crocodile, alligator, tomato, whatever. Same thing, different continent. Deputies said the alligator bit the man's right leg as he tried to escape. The station said the man flagged down a deputy who was in the area for an unrelated call, according to the TV station, and the man was taken to a hospital and the gator was captured, the station reported. Oh, okay, so he did get close enough, realize it was an alligator, and try to make an escape. I don't know if you guys knew this. I only know this because of Florida. Alligators are actually in insanely quick. Like, if you try to run away in a straight line, they can really catch up pretty easily. It's not too difficult for them. I don't know if they're training for the alligator Olympics or what, but it's kind of terrifying how fast they can be. So he probably got close enough, went, oh crap, that's not a dog, ran away out of fear just to have it run up and snatch his leg. What a horrifying situation. You're running away from an alligator. Don't look back, don't look back, don't look back, and pain in the leg. Oh, yep, don't want to look now. There's an alligator hanging off you. It's insane that he was able to get away. I'm really, really glad he's going to be okay. I obviously wouldn't be making this video if it was any different result. But my goodness, he really got away lucky, all things considered, being alone behind a motel with no one to help him, with an alligator running after him and biting his leg. Also insanely lucky that the cop happened to be nearby so he could get help right away. See, he's the god of Florida men. Everything lined up perfectly the way it should be. He said, look, I'm going to inspire some Florida men here. I'm going to make them all go hunt down alligators to put dog leashes on as a form of protest for it biting me. All the Florida men need to become unified in the fight against the alligator. Soon we shall have to make a choice. Will we let the alligators and pythons and every other snake that people have released that have been going crazy here win? Or will we make this Florida man territory? He's just trying to unify everybody. I just think it's funny that he thought it was a dog. Like, that's the funniest part of this. It's not funny that an alligator attacked someone, but the fact that he was like, oh, I'm gonna go pet the puppy. Oh, that's an alligator. Like, what are the odds, dude? Something was going down in that motel room, probably. Alleged avocado thief arrested for grand theft of fruit in Goleta. Alright, obviously I knew fruit was worth money because, you know, they can sell it, farmers grow it to make money, I get it. But I didn't realize that there was an entire business of thieves that are just going in and trying to steal stuff from these farms. He really said, look, okay, the life of crime is appealing to me. You know what else is appealing to me? What I'm gonna do to these avocados later to make some guac. I don't understand why you would ever be sitting there and be like, I'm bored, it's a Friday night, I feel like going and committing some grand theft of fruit from a local ranch. I didn't know grand theft of fruit was a crime, and I'm sure this guy didn't either, but here's the difference. I'm not the one committing it. You think he would have given it a quick Google search before he went out and started stealing avocados. Would have been able to find out it's a felony, maybe avoid it. But what's crazy is the police say that this guy had like a whole setup with a headlamp and everything for stealing avocados. Here's a photo of the trunk, I believe. It's on the news article, and as you can tell, homie's been busy. He probably does this on the nightly. He's become something of an expert avocado thief. Rumor has it that if he comes to your avocado farm, be prepared to have no avocados in 20 minutes flat. He's like Krampus, but for avocados. Alright, I'm hoping that his plan was to take these and sell them. Not that, like, I'm hoping that he steals them. But I would be more disturbed if that amount of avocados was purely for personal use. The police are like, all right, man, what are you doing with the trunk full of avocados? We know you're selling them, so where are you selling them? Who's your buyer? No, I just really love avocados. That only lasts me about a day. If I don't eat that many avocados, I have this curse put on me and I'll turn into a werewolf. And they're like, dude, you're telling me that you're eating 47 pounds of avocados a day? It's probably more than 47 pounds, to be fair. That's like a trunk full. Gas is getting expensive. You're really paying a pretty extra hefty price tag to be dragging that around. I'm pretty sure 300 pounds of avocados isn't great for the fuel efficiency. Oh, you know, these things happen. It's just part of the business of being an avocado thief. The cop who arrested him was probably hyped for the one reason that he got to write down that he was charging someone with grand theft fruit. I would assume that's one of those laws that for a long time most people looked at as like, you know, those super outdated laws that don't make sense? Oh, you can't ride a horse on Sunday. Like, that was probably what the grand theft fruit law was. Imagine being able to look at a person and go, listen, I'm gonna have to charge you with grand theft fruit today. And you're not stealing from the Apple store. It's for avocados. Is that what happens when you steal from the Apple store? Do you get hit with grand theft for fruit? A suspected avocado thief was charged with grand theft of fruit, among other charges, after he was caught with stolen avocados from a ranch in Goleta. It happened May 8th near a ranch in the 6900 block of Cathedral Oaks Road. I don't understand what his excuse could have possibly been either. Like, the cops pull up to a guy's ranch, and there's just this dude who doesn't own the ranch with a headlamp on, walking out of the avocado place with a bucket full of avocados. And then they're like, hey man, it looks like you're stealing avocados, so we're gonna search the car. They open the trunk and there's 500 pounds of avocados. It's just the most open and shut case of all time. One of the stupidest cases of all time, but pretty open and shut. As far as it goes to like being caught red-handed, the cops pulling up as you're loading the stolen merchandise into your trunk is pretty caught red-handed. I love how it points out there were other charges too. Guy was on an absolute crime spree, real GTA type character here. This would be something Trevor from GTA would do though. I really want some guacamole. Next thing you know, you like transfer to him from the GTA wheel and he's just in the middle of a field stealing avocados. Just such a bizarre thing to steal. I'm sure when it comes to profit margin, like if this guy is stealing stuff to resell it, avocados can't be that great. I mean, it is free, I guess. Any money is good money and you should never steal. But you would think if you're some hardened criminal with like this process for stealing avocados, you'd eventually realize that avocados aren't like a gold rush. Maybe I'm mistaken. Watch avocados basically be like the gold of farming. It's like that one show with the British dudes selling window blinds. You would never expect it, but they're just making bank. He's the kingpin of the avocado game. He's got a golden desert eagle with the avocado engraved on the slide. According to the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, an officer found the suspect, 44-year-old Tim Rounds of Lompoc, near his car, which was stopped on the shoulder of the road. He was wearing a headlamp on his forehead and holding a bucket of avocados. That had to have been a bizarre sight. It's the middle of the night. You pull over to this weird car on the side of the road. You turn on your headlights, and there's a guy with a headlamp holding a bucket of avocados. I can explain. It's not what it looks like. You're like, well, all right, start explaining because I don't know what this looks like. It's not a normal situation where I'm driving down the road and there's just a guy with a bucket of avocados looking suspicious. He really left the car on the side of the road. He's like, listen, I've done this a million times. I consider myself something of an expert on stealing the avocados. No one's going to see the car. It's not going to be a big deal. I'll be back with my headlamp before they know it. With this headlamp, this illumination, I can run through a dark avocado farm like Usain Bolt, baby. I've got so much illumination. I'm a speed demon out here with this headlamp on. He comes back, sees the cop car. All right, maybe I wasn't fast enough. I got to work on it. Grand theft of fruit. I would love to know the person that wrote that down. They had to have a specific law for fruit. Like, I'm pretty sure stealing is just already illegal. Why did they have to come out and specify it and add like a new subcategory of stealing, which is the fruit kind? Listen, you steal a TV? Okay, like whatever. I get it. You're going to steal TVs. That's a joke. Don't steal TVs. But like to decide to make some super specific law about stealing fruit is just really funny to me. During a search of the car, deputies discovered the trunk was full of avocados, and the ranch's owner was contacted and informed authorities that he didn't have permission to harvest avocados. Additionally, authorities recovered methamphetamine pipe and a bag of methamphetamine. And there it is. I get it now. See, we were confused. We were like, why would you end up in a field in the middle of a night with a headlamp to steal 400 pounds of avocados? It's just such a bizarre thing. Well, meth is one hell of a drug. I've never done meth, but I can't say I'm surprised that this guy was doing meth and then running out into the fields to try to steal avocados. It seems like a pretty meth thing to do. I've seen Breaking Bad. That makes me something of an expert myself. Jokes aside though, man, like, I guess if you've already got the meth in the car, you might as well get the avocados. Either way, there's illegal stuff in the car, you know? I hope no one takes my advice seriously in these videos. Like, so no one actually go put meth in your car. The ranch owner getting woken up in the middle of the night. He's like, hey, I'm trying to get my beauty sleep. I have a ranch to run here. Hey, did you give this guy permission to put on a headlamp and steal a bunch of avocados? No, why would I do that? And they're like, we don't know, but he was saying he had permission, so we had to ask. Rounds was arrested for grand theft of fruit, which is a felony, possession of a controlled substance, which is a misdemeanor, and possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a misdemeanor. He was booked at the main jail and released without bail, and the stolen avocados have since been returned to the ranch owner. Wait, if they return this to the ranch owner, does that mean that some guy had to be responsible for like going up to the trunk of this dude's car and picking out all the avocados from the trunk into a bag and then giving them to the ranch owner? That's so funny. Some dude got paid paid to just unload avocados from the trunk. I don't know why that cracks me up so much, bro, but just imagining some guy, he's like, man, when I signed up to be a police officer, I thought I'd be stopping bank robberies and stuff, and now I gotta unload avocados. This sucks. Overall, I would not recommend doing meth or stealing avocados. Those are two things that I think you should just not have on the bucket list. I'm not in charge of your life. I guess you can do what you want at the end of the day. However, don't be surprised if the SWAT team ends up at your house for you committing the felony of grand theft fruit. It's not a joke. You wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't steal an avocado. Just think about it that way. I always thought that PSA was stupid. You wouldn't download a car. Yeah, I would. If I could download like a Lamborghini. Oh, but that's pirating. Okay, I would have a Lamborghini though, but I would never steal fruit. That's way too far, guys. Grand theft of fruit, not even something to joke around about. I hope none of you guys are traumatized from this insane true crime story that we had to cover today. Would-be robber offers Davenport police officers $1 million not to arrest him. I love how it's would-be robber. Don't get it twisted, bro. I know you're trying your best out here to commit crime, but I don't think you have the $1 million to be bribing them, considering they stopped you in the middle of the robbery. I don't know where the funds are going to come from to be giving them $1 million, but I also feel like people that have $1 million just sitting in a bank account are not out there committing robbery, dude. Like, unless you live in Gotham, where for some reason every criminal has a bunch of money and still keeps committing crime, I don't think there's many places where millionaires are running around trying to steal people's purses. I also love how he's like, oh, I'll bribe the officers that just caught me in the robbery. They definitely will take the bribe. Dude, I don't know if you know this, but if they accept the bribe, they get in trouble too. A Davenport man, whom police say punched a woman in the face while trying to steal her purse, offered arresting officers $1 million bribe to let him go. Ricardo Esperanza, 49, is charged with second-degree robbery, a Class C felony that carries a prison sentence of 10 years, and bribery, a Class D felony that carries a prison sentence of 5 years. First, I hope the lady's okay. I mean, not only physically, but also, like, emotionally. Someone trying to steal your purse and punch you in the face has got to be traumatic. But this guy's just an absolute loser, bro, because he's offering the police officers $1 million to let him go. Which, you know, let's be honest, there's no way he has the money. But in his mind, he said, I'm gonna offer these cops $1 million. All I did was punch some lady in the face. Pretty sure the cops are gonna arrest you even for $1 million bribe. You can't be running around punching people. But also, he thought the cops were going to believe that he had the $1 million. If you have the $1 million, then why are you running around trying to steal some lady's purse, dude? Like what, the $300 she has in her purse is gonna really switch up your $1 million bank account? Is this all you do? You're a professional purse snatcher? That's how you got your millions, was just constantly getting away with purse robbery and bribing the officers when they catch you? What a cringe lord, dude. No, you don't understand. I'll pay you $1 million if you let me get away with stealing this purse that has $200 in cash and a bunch of Starbucks gift cards. According to the arrest affidavits filed by the Davenport Police Corporals Christopher Hebel and Gregory Lala, at 8:05 p.m. on Tuesday, officers responded to the 1200 block of West 6th Street to investigate a report of a robbery. The victim was walking west in the alley south of West 6th Street in the 1200 block when Esperanza began following her. The victim turned towards Esperanza and he grabbed the straps of her purse, which was over her shoulder. He then punched the woman in the face as he was pulling on her purse, and he did not get the woman's purse, and police were called, and the woman did not report any injuries. Alright, obviously I'm insanely glad the woman's okay. Like, what a G. Taking a punch to the face, still holding onto the purse, and then calling the cops and getting away. What an absolute unit. You're not getting this lady's purse. Criminals beware. She's a tough woman. Will absolutely 720 no-scope you in any type of combat. She really ate that punch like, I don't know, Mario eating a mushroom to give himself extra bonus powers. But this dude is such a loser, man. Like, it's just already cringe to rob people, to punch a lady in the face to try to get her purse. Dude, you're such a sack of turd. And listen, even though this guy is an absolute moron, I don't want anything good for him. The fact that the police were able to catch him means he's gotta not be very bright. Police take a while to respond to things. You know, you got a couple minutes. If you didn't get away with the robbery, why would you stay in the area? You should get out of there as fast as humanly possible. You know, I'm glad he didn't. I'm very glad he got caught. But clearly the dude's a moron. If he tries to steal this lady's purse, he doesn't get away with it, hears her call the cops and goes, nah, I'll stay around here. It's not like they're going to be able to find me. I think the police are going to be very concerned about a guy that's running around attacking people, dude. I don't think they're just going to give up on the search like you're a 1-star wanted level in Grand Theft Auto. Officers located Esperanza a short distance from the robbery scene, and after being read his Miranda rights, Esperanza was placed in the backseat of the squad car, and then he offered the officers $1 million to release him, not arrest him. He told the officers he could provide the money in cash or transfer the money into their bank accounts, and when the officer asked if he was trying to bribe them, he said that he was. I can't get over that this dude is supposedly a millionaire. He's really out here on that purse robbery flow, even though he's got a 7-figure bank account. And apparently more than $1 million, because if he's got $1 million to just be throwing around giving out, clearly he's got a lot more money than that. Why you robbing purses then, dude? It's just flabbergasting that he thought the police were ever going to be dumb enough to believe this or take the offer. You punched a lady in the face, dude. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million or not. You definitely need to take some type of punishment. It's so funny, too. I'll give you $1 million not to arrest me. The cops, are you trying to bribe me? Now, let's play the Jeopardy thinking music for a second. Dun, 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 dun. If the officers ask you if you're asking them to commit a felony, what you should do is shut up and say, no, I'm not trying to bribe you, officer, I'm sorry. What you don't do is look at the cop and say, yes, I'm trying to bribe you. They literally are telling him to look into the body camera and say it again. Excuse me, can you please look at this camera and very slowly say that you're trying to bribe me? I just want to make sure for my records that I have it, a copy of it for later in case you decide not to pay me. Oh yeah, no problem, I understand, it's for your records. I'm trying to bribe you. Bright side is it'll be a pretty open and shut case. They'll be in the courtroom and they'll be like, he ran away from the scene and when we arrested him, he offered us a bribe to not arrest him, which I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure implies guilt. Like the fact that you didn't think that you had a chance to fight it, you immediately starting to bribe officers, kind of implies that you knew you were up to no good. But this is going to be pretty open and shut, the robbery and the bribery. And I'm really glad that the woman is okay. Like I said, an absolute unit. For taking that punch on the chin, calling the cops, like kudos to her for real. Esperanza was booked into the Scott County Jail. During a first appearance Wednesday in Scott County District Court, Magistrate Jay Summers set his bond at $10,000 cash only and scheduled a preliminary hearing in the case for May 27th. Well, since he's got $1 million, the $10,000 bail should be absolutely no problem. Apparently the guy is just swimming in cash. Yes, I am trying to bribe you. Seriously, I don't really know what the dude was thinking. Clearly he wasn't. You shouldn't be going around robbing anyone. I understand I don't have to explain that to a lot of you. Hopefully I don't have to explain that to any of you, you know? Don't be running around punching people in the face and trying to take their purse. And if you do that and you get caught, just accept the fact that you got caught. Don't start trying to bribe the officers, especially when they say, are you trying to commit a felony? Don't pick secret option E and confirm that you're trying to commit a felony, because that's just the worst way to go about it. Why would you admit to a felony? Obviously, I'm glad that he was dumb enough to do that, because he seems like the type of guy running around punching people in the face. But goodness, on a general basis, the rule of thumb is don't tell the police that you committed a felony. I guess the reason I can call this the dumbest criminal, though, is because he didn't think it through, which, like I said, is probably good in this situation. It is good in this situation. There's no probably to it. I don't want people running around punching my mom in the face and taking her purse, so the more people that are punching people in the face stealing purses are taken off the street, the better. For real though, to the lady that ate the punch and held onto her purse, I would like you to make a class about how to defend yourself in these situations. I want to have the tenacity of that, dude. Maybe get into MMA fighting. You got like an iron jaw. You could probably make a butt ton of money boxing. Imagine this is the next Jake Paul fight and she just absolutely obliterates him. She's like, listen, dude, I've survived a robbery, all right? I'm not afraid of you, Jake Paul. And I understand the situation was scary, so I hope she's able to find a way to get over that. I think anytime you're like robbed, an attempted robbery, whatever, that's probably going to change the way you look at a lot of situations. So hopefully she finds a way to deal with that too. I don't want everyone to think it's all sunshine and rainbows just because she managed to hang on to the purse. Still though, tenacity of an absolute lion, and like a really big lion, like a strong she's the real hero in all of this. She really is. But I'm serious, leverage this into your career, okay? Fight Jake Paul, make a couple $1 million. He'll probably offer you to throw the fight. He'll give you a couple million if you throw the fight. You just flop on the ground, let Jake Paul say he won, make a huge fat stack, and then move somewhere safer. That's what I think the best situation is here, all right? You got to make lemonade out of the lemons life gives you, and this was a pretty crappy lemon. Robbery sucks. Well, leader of Feces eating cult arrested after 11 dead bodies discovered during raid. You know, that one might not rhyme as much, but it certainly is a classic. Seriously, though, when I saw that headline, I really didn't know what to think. Obviously, cults are not a good thing. There's a reason there's plenty of documentaries about like all the cults that have gone crazy. That being said, it's very different to think about a cult of the feces eating variety. How do you get people on board with that ever? You know, usually the cult goes to vulnerable people, gets them to join, makes them feel at home. I don't think eating feces is ever something I personally would feel comfortable or at home with, but hey, apparently this dude had a whole cult. Obviously, eating feces is not gonna do too well for you though, so I'm surprised it's only 11 dead bodies, you know? Thai police raided the compound of a suspected cult leader in the province on Sunday, discovering at least 11 dead bodies during the search. Local authorities were able to raid the compound after the group allegedly violated land encroachment laws and broke COVID-19 restriction laws. Law enforcement had already been made aware of the group after allegations were shared that the community had been consuming bodily fluids of the leader. After police made their way onto campgrounds, they then discovered the remains of 11 bodies in coffins. Obviously, I'm glad the police got in there. You know, I'm glad this is coming to an end. I'm glad the cult is going to be no more. You know, I don't think the feces eating cult is something we really need on the planet. But this is reminding me of like the way Al Capone ended up going to jail for tax evasion. Oh yeah, we ended up going into this compound because they broke some land encroachment laws. Next thing we know, there's 11 dead bodies because they've been eating the poop of the cult leader. Like, usually when there's some crazy cult leader going on, one of the things they try to do is say that they don't have to use the bathroom. I'm thinking about, like, the leader of North Korea that works so hard. Apparently, he never uses the bathroom. This guy just did the opposite. He's like, I'm always going to the bathroom and you just have to eat it. You know, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, but I just really don't know how he managed to get anyone on board with it. Like, oh, yeah, you know how I'm the cult leader, right? Yeah. And you know how, like, everything I say is right? Uh-huh. I think you should eat my poop. I would be like, I take that back. I don't think you're right about all the things anymore. I'll be honest with you. I don't care what your logic is. I'm just not really down to be munching on the excrement personally. I've made a personal choice. This cult must have had the worst breath ever, dude. Imagine them giving you an order when you're like working at Subway. No, thank you, man. I'm honestly flabbergasted that it's only 11 people. Because if you really think about it, like, that's one of the most disgusting things you could do as far as getting sick goes. So the fact that they've just been eating this dude's excrement and only 11 of them have gotten so sick, kind of weird. Like, I don't know that it's any should be a normal amount. Like, obviously one person's way too many. One person eating it and not getting sick is way too many. But you would think if he's been force feeding this to his cult that more people would have gotten sick from it. However, the group was only able to provide death certificates belonging to 5 of the 11 deceased, and police have ordered autopsies to be conducted to establish the cause of death of the bodies. The suspected leader of the group has been detained for questioning, but before the arrest, many of his followers attempted to stop police from arresting the man during the raid. I mean, what did they expect the police to do in this situation? They come raid your cult, and then obviously there's more dead bodies than there are death certificates, so they gotta do something. I understand he's your cult leader, but come on guys, the cops' hands are kind of tied here. Just cult member things when you end up trying to fight off the police force to keep your cult leader from being questioned about all the dead bodies that are in your guys' cult compound. Just Tuesday, you know, just another Tuesday hanging out with the boys, accidentally getting raided by police. Oops, they found the dead bodies. The questioning's gotta be bizarre, bro. They're gonna be like, did people eat your feces? And he'll be like, no. Well, you do realize that we're doing autopsies, so if it's related to that, we're gonna find out. And he'll be like, I never said they didn't eat feces, they just didn't eat my feces. Aha, you see, there's a difference. Still not understanding how he got this many people on board with it, really. Like, more people should have had the ability to go, nah, I'm not really tracking. Like, how does this make any sense? If you eat the poop of the cult leader, somehow you'll get magical powers or something? Why would his poop give you magical powers? I don't understand understand how the police are going to take any of this seriously while they're questioning me either. Like, if I was in charge of questioning him, I would just be laughing the entire time because I'm like, bro, you not only started a cult, like, you already have to be crazy to start a cult, but you started a cult of people that are supposed to eat your feces? Like, come on, man. You had hundreds of followers. You basically had to just, like, exist, and you would have been basically the closest thing to a demigod possible in the current age, like a cult leader. But you just had to make people start eating feces, man. Cult leaders are always crazy. I don't think cults should exist, but I'm just saying, you think he would have been a little bit more low-key about it. The strange group was known in the area to conduct themselves in a religious-like manner where devotees of the father, Thawi Nanra, 75, would do almost anything for the man. Some say he would force his followers to drink his urine, eat his feces, and consume dirt in order to heal physical illness. So they were doing all of this to heal their physical illnesses, you know? Like, oh man, I have a bad back, like I have chronic back pain. Hey dude, just drink this Gatorade bottle of my urine and it'll all be okay. Alright, man, like, kinda weird, but maybe if you're insanely desperate to heal your back pain, you do it. But why do you keep doing it when you drink it and nothing happens? Like, listen, there's no way the dude is actually magic. You're not chowing down on his feces and getting rid of the fact that, like, your ankle doesn't move anymore. There's no way. There's no way that, like, you know, you're blind and you drink this dude's urine and your sight comes back. So after you've eaten his waste or eaten dirt, like, why would you stay in the cult? It would be fairly obvious that something didn't work out, you know? Someone was lying somewhere, even if it would heal your physical illness. I'm just not understanding how so many people were on board with this. Like, he had an entire compound of people willing to fight cops to keep him from getting arrested. Were they still waiting on their order of urine, you know? Because, like, if you've been munching on this dude's feces and it's not getting better, then it should be obvious you're getting scammed. You shouldn't be going for seconds hoping that it'll be more magical the second time. If you want seconds, does he make you wait like 6 to 8 hours depending on the speed of his lower intestine? A snippet from television shows a woman who appears to be a member of the cult saying that she did not detect any unpleasant odor while consuming human waste. There isn't even an odor, the woman remarked. Only those with a tainted mind may smell it. If not wanting to eat feces means that I have a tainted mind, then I guess I have a tainted mind, you know? If anything, I think your mind would be a little bit of tainted to, like, accept the fact that that's what you're eating. I also refuse to believe there was absolutely no scent. I'm sorry, man. Unless this dude's got the greatest diet of all time, there is no way all of his waste is perfectly odorless. And even then, even if it is odorless, why eat it? Like, that doesn't mean you should eat it. There's plenty of things that are odorless. Oh, wow, do you see that urinal cake? Might as well give it a bite since it's odorless. Like, no, that makes no sense. Just because something has no smell doesn't mean it's edible magically. It still is human waste, even if it magically didn't smell, which I don't necessarily believe. You still know what it is. Like, you're still choosing to munch on that like it's a snack. And it's just not a snack, no matter how much you swear it doesn't smell. Fake DEA agent busted while trying to get discount at Wendy's in Bunnell, police say. David Stoner arrested on charges of impersonating a law enforcement officer. So like I said, he's just accused at the moment, but either way, I love the idea of like a real federal officer, man, a DEA agent, you know, strolling into a Wendy's and being like, listen, I demand a DEA discount. You guys better make my Wendy's 10% off. Obviously, I understand taking advantage of discounts, you know, is a part of like making money or whatever, you know, it's the smart thing to do. So I'm not gonna fault anyone that's actually an agent for getting the discount that they actually should get. But I don't really know what might have been going through this dude's mind to flash a fake badge to say that he's a federal agent. Impersonating a federal officer, unless I'm wrong, is a felony. You know, I could be wrong on that. So it doesn't seem that worth it to just get a discount on your Wendy's. Like, dude, you're really gonna flash a fake badge to try to get 3 cents off your 4 for 4 combo? Come on. And I think what's even worse is, like, as you can tell from the thumbnail, you know, he wasn't even flashing a fake DEA badge. No, he didn't even go through the trouble to get a fake DEA badge. He just had a concealed weapons badge, which I don't know if states give those to you when you get your concealed carry permit. I've never heard of that, so he might have just, like, bought a badge if he has a CCW permit, but he was just flashing one of those. So, like, obviously the people in the Wendy's are gonna realize that it doesn't say DEA on it. I just don't really understand what the dude could have been thinking. Like, unless the staff at the Wendy's was literally a group of people that had never seen a badge before in their life, there's no way that they would have thought that was a DEA badge. They just look completely different. I'm gonna put the difference on screen. I'll put both of them up, dude. Imagine some guy trying to show you the other one and being like, I'm a DEA agent. A man trying to get a discount on his fast food order is accused of impersonating a DEA agent, according to Bunnell police. David Stover, 57, was arrested Monday at the Wendy's at 2570 Commerce Parkway. Alright, it's already embarrassing enough to be pretending to be an agent, dude. Flashing your badge at a Wendy's is literally the most embarrassing way you could go about it, you know? That's what he's accused of. But I'm just saying, like, this is the definition of, sir, this is a Wendy's. He's just going off about how, like, I, myself, took down Pablo Escobar and his entire cartel, and you're gonna deny me the discount at this Wendy's establishment? And they're like, we're going to call the cops. And he goes, fine, I'll stay and talk to the cops. Like, listen, I feel like things are already not going your way if you're getting into an argument at a fast food place that is escalating to the point of the cops getting called. But I especially don't understand why he, with his fake badge, stayed until the cops came. Like, alright, you know, he's been telling them that he's a DEA agent and that's why he needs a discount on food. They tell him, hey, we called the cops, and he just hangs out in the lobby to wait until the cops show up. Did he think they weren't gonna check his badge or check into his story? He was just gonna be like, nah, see, you know, you guys are cops, I'm a DEA agent, similar vibe, and they were gonna be like, oh yeah, we're not gonna check into that at all. I'm just really not understanding it. And all over a Wendy's discount? Listen, I'm not hating on Wendy's, I enjoy Wendy's, but it's not a restaurant that's worth getting arrested over. Like, you can just go to a different Wendy's. I just don't understand the need to let any argument escalate to the point of the cops getting called, especially if you're in a situation where you're carrying a fake badge impersonating a federal officer. It's just really not a good idea to stick around when the cops are called or be in an argument that escalates to that point. You don't understand, okay? I own this Wendy's. It's a front for a government operation to secretly fund clandestine DEA coups. Officers said Stover was demanding a law enforcement discount and started threatening to report staff to corporate for not giving it to him. According to police, Stover was a regular at that Wendy's for the past 2 years. Workers said he used to get a discount at the restaurant because he had a friend who was a cashier there, and according to the arrest report, when the worker left the job, Stover started claiming he was a law enforcement officer. The manager at the store told investigators that Stover would often tell workers he was an undercover DEA agent and would occasionally flash a badge when asked for proof, the report stated. Alright, so, okay, this is just what I'm understanding from that. So he was a regular for 2 years, and when his friend was there, he was getting a discount, and he's not a DEA agent. So at 55, he's not a DEA agent. His friend leaves, now he starts flashing a badge saying he's a DEA agent, okay? So you switched careers at 57, and you just happened to join the DEA as a secret agent. Okay, alright, okay, I'm understanding more and more why the workers were so insistent to just not give him his discount and send him on his way. It's like, dude, I've literally known you for 2 years and you've never mentioned being an agent, and now all of a sudden you're like a secret government operative? Well, yeah, exactly, so give me my discount. No, I'm not gonna give you your discount, dude. Like, what, are you crazy? You expect me to believe this? I'm sorry, man, but I just am really not understanding what the plan was. Especially flashing a badge that has nothing to do with it. Like, I feel like if anything, that just kind of escalates the situation. I feel like if you're like, I'm a DEA agent, and they say, no, you're not, and you're like, oh, okay, I was kidding. It's not that big of a deal. But if you start flashing a badge, it becomes like, okay, now you're just kind of impersonating an officer. How are you going to convince people that have known you for years that you're magically a secret agent, man? I just really want to know what goes through your mind before you make that decision. Listen, okay, I've seen all the James Bond movies 37 times. I can convince anyone of anything. I'm a master of deception. Investigators said Stover denied ever claiming to be a DEA agent. However, he did admit to carrying a concealed carry permit badge, which he claimed to show the employees because they asked to see it. Stover faces a charge of impersonating a law enforcement officer. Alright, so obviously he's denying it, but I'm just imagining this entire court case over like a Wendy's discount. Dude, I'm telling you, this in the last video I made is just like the amount of money that we are paying for the courts to look over these cases when it's just so absurd. Obviously, impersonating a federal officer itself is a crime they got to investigate. Like, I get it. But all of this over a Wendy's discount, whether or not he's guilty, the argument still progressed to the point where they called the cops. And if he's not guilty, like if they are making this up, then an argument over a Wendy's discount escalated to the point where the entire store decided to just make up a story about him pretending to be a DEA agent over and over. So no matter the outcome, whether he is pretending to be a DEA agent for Wendy's discounts or whether or not the Wendy's made it up, this is insane. Like, this is just not something that should happen over fast food, and like fast food. This isn't even like a really above average burger, nothing against it. It's just like, you're gonna pretend to be an agent over Wendy's? And also imagining everyone in this Wendy's banding together and being like, all right guys, let's pretend that he lies about being a federal agent. Like, this entire thing is just, it's like an episode from a TV show. It's not something that should have ever been in reality. But yeah, the definition of, sir, this is a Wendy's, ma'am, this is a Wendy's, came to fruition. I would not recommend pretending to be a federal officer in any circumstance, especially for a fast food discount. Alright, general rule of thumb, I really wouldn't recommend ever stealing a skid loader and trying to use it to run from the police. For those of you that don't know what a skid loader is, it's like construction equipment, and sure, it's got an engine, but the odds of you actually getting away from like a car or even somebody fast on foot is slim to none. But apparently for some people, a skid loader's just too much to allegedly resist. Green Bay man charged with stealing skid steer in OWI after neighborhood chase. I just love that this guy was like chilling walking down the street, saw a skid loader, decided to steal it. Just a very random thing to steal. But then also when the police get behind him, instead of being like, oof, can't outrun a car, that's a bad idea, he still decides to try to take it on the chase around the neighborhood. All you're doing at that point is guaranteeing that you're gonna get punished more, because they're gonna catch you, you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine how embarrassing it would have been if this article was, Green Bay police lose man slowly escaping on skid loader, population wonders how? Like, seriously, it's a bright yellow piece of construction equipment. Chances are this thing would have been very impossible to lose. I don't know why you expected running to go well. You were going to get caught. This is the equivalent of like stealing a kid's tricycle and then the police getting behind you and you're like, let's push it into gear and start pedaling really fast. No matter how much you want that tricycle to be faster than the cars, it's just not gonna happen. This man was charged Friday with Thursday's theft of a skid steer from a Northland mall, which led to a low-speed pursuit in Appleton and Grand Chute. The 37-year-old was charged with his fourth OWI, operating motor vehicle without owner's consent, and attempting to flee or elude an officer. Police initially said he was from Appleton, but the criminal complaint system says his current address is Green Bay. I just don't really understand how anyone gets 4 or OWIs, dude. Like, you would think, getting one is already weird. 4? At what point are you just gonna realize that stuff in driving and operating a motor vehicle just doesn't really go together? I also love how this guy was like apparently over by the mall, saw a piece of construction equipment and just decided to drive it around town. Like, what a random way to spend your Thursday night. What'd you guys do? Oh, you know how it is. Joyride some construction equipment. When like the police saw it driving on the road, they were already confused enough, dude, and then it starts a low-speed chase. I love the description of that. Could you even call it a chase if it's at a low speed? It's more just like, slowly following. Sure, in his mind, it's probably like 80 miles an hour. He thinks he's in a movie. He's like shifting gears on the skid loader. But I would be surprised if it wasn't just the police cruiser following behind at like 5-6 miles per hour with the lights on. Sir, please pull over the skid loader. You are not in a construction zone. He's like throwing cones out of the front of the skid loader that were in there or something. I've just never necessarily wanted to take one of those things on the road. Like, listen, I'm not saying construction equipment isn't cool. Obviously, every little kid is like, dump truck for a reason. It's pretty dope. That being said, not once have I ever like looked at, a backhoe and said, I'd love to take this baby to the Indy 500. This thing could speed, I betcha. Like, listen, there's nothing about construction equipment that says super fast and fun to joyride and take on a police chase. I'm just not really understanding why this is what you'd pick. Like, if you are going after some weird thrill, I just don't understand stealing a car in general. But if you are gonna go steal a car, it's like, I'm gonna go on a high-speed chase in something that can only go 12 miles an hour. This is one of those stories that the cops are gonna tell and no one's gonna believe them. They're gonna be like, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? Well, one time there was this guy guy driving a skid loader down the road, and he made us follow him for 6 miles before he finally ran out of gas, and yeah, he said he thought he was gonna outrun us. No way anyone's that stupid. You have to be exaggerating. It's like, no, not for real. Allegedly, obviously, at this point. The skid steer was reported stolen from the mall after 7:30 a.m. The maintenance employee said he tried to follow the tracks while police were looking at security videos. The maintenance worker came in and said it was back and driving behind the mall. The skid steer spun around to avoid an approaching police car, and when squad cars tried to block the exit, he drove onto the grass and headed into a residential area. Listen, man, I'm not saying I'm a criminal mastermind, alright? I'm an idiot. That being said, I'm pretty sure one of the rules they say is to never return to the scene of the crime, dude. You stole the skid loader and then came back in the morning. Like, if you did steal it in the middle of the night, you probably could have brought it back before anyone noticed. 7:30 is probably a little bit outside of the window of nobody noticing that thing's gone, though. You know what I mean? You're already playing a risky game stealing it in the first place, but coming back to the scene of the crime when people are definitely looking for it seems dumb. I also love how this is just such a GTA move, bro. Like I said, you're just caught. If 2 squad cars are watching you in the stolen skid steer, it's kind of done, bro. They're just gonna walk after you. It's over. This guy's like shifting into gear, going into the residential areas, taking sharp turns, you know? Everybody watch out! Everybody has like 45 minutes to get out of the way because it's just not going that fast. Listen, man, I'm not saying that like stealing a skid steer isn't a big deal, because obviously it's a piece of construction equipment. They're not cheap. Stealing that sucks and can cause a lot of delays to construction. It's not great for the business, but I just really don't understand like why you would even want to steal one in the first place, other than the fact that it is expensive. The fact that this guy was bringing it back to the mall makes me think that it wasn't like stealing it to sell it, because then why would you bring it back? You know, I'm not this guy, but so far it's kind of looking like he was just trying to joyride this particular machine all night and then bring it back. Maybe he's trying to get certified on skid loaders or something, needed a little bit of practice. But overall, I'm just like, who joyrides a skid loader? You know, if anything, you shouldn't steal one, but if you stole one and sold it, it would make a little bit of sense as to why you did it. Just stealing it for a couple hours, bringing it right back, driving it into the grass when the cops definitely got you cornered. It's just an interesting move. Police said the driver appeared to keep slumping over, so they called an ambulance while they tried to stop him. The skid steer eventually headed down railroad tracks, and then they spotted it doing donuts in a field off Gillette Street. They say they had to forcibly remove him with the skid steer with the help of a police dog. According to the complaint, officers found a piece of tinfoil with white powdery substance in the cab of the skid steer, and police said from their experience they thought it was cocaine, but there wasn't enough left to test. Alright, obviously I don't know if he had cocaine on him. Nobody does. There's nothing left to test. We'll never know. That being said, I think it would explain a little bit of the donuts while the police are chasing you. For all I know, he could just be a savage. Like I said, no way to know. He probably didn't have cocaine. That being said, bro, if he did, you know, that's what might make you do donuts while the police are chasing you. I love that. He went onto the railroad tracks and low-key did lose him for a bit, but then he had to blow it by just doing donuts in the middle of the field, man. I also love how he just didn't give up. Like, the police had him surrounded in the field, the dog's there. He's like, no, I'm just not gonna get out. Like, bro, at some point you do realize that they're going to get you out of there. You can't just live your rest of the life in the skid steer. Watch me. He's got like a bucket to poop in, you know, and enough granola bars to last a while. I just am not really understanding the plan, you know. It would make sense to me if there was something involved, but that being said, I'm an idiot. This is all alleged, and you know, if there's not enough left for the police to test for it, then in the court of law, he was not on anything and didn't have anything on him. I just think this entire story is wild, bro. This guy's out here in GTA. Isn't this something you do in Grand Theft Auto? Like, you get rid of the cops for a bit, and then you just go and start doing donuts in a field, you know, just in your supercar. Only difference is instead of a Lamborghini, he had a skid steer, but the vibes were similar. This entire ordeal reads like something that you would see in a South Park episode, you know? Like, not in a bad way, but, you know, Randy, like, this is something Randy would do. Just steal a skid steer and then, like, go on a police chase, be doing donuts, and then when he gets caught, he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. This is my right as an American. That skid steer had the keys in the ignition. What was I supposed to do? Not steal it? All right, so first things first, I want to do a disclaimer. You should never take a dead body to the pensions office and try to get a pension. I just feel like, you know, if you're the type of person that needs a disclaimer to not pose a dead body, you're probably too far gone. Everybody else on the normal side of, like, everything else is like, yeah, why would you ever take a dead body to the pensions office? These guys just thought that they had figured out the hack to infinite free money. Sure, they might think it's weird that he's still 185 collecting his pension, but we'll be rich and they'll be none the wiser. I just don't really know why you decide, like, in the 5 minutes after Grandpa died to just go get his paycheck. You know, you seem a little bit too money focused if that's problem number one. A dead man was brought to a post office this morning in an attempt to collect his pension in one of the most bizarre incidents that Gardai has ever seen. The shocking incident in which the deceased male was propped up by 2 other men happened at the post office on Stapletown Roads in Carlow Town. Staff at the post office immediately became suspicious and contacted emergency services, and Gardai rushed to the scene. Obviously, from the first second of reading the headline, you could have assumed this was not a very well thought out plot, but I feel like it's especially not well thought out if the second you walked into the office, everyone went, oh my god, there's 2 guys carrying a dead body here trying to get a pension. You know, at least in Weekend at Bernie's, which for those of you that don't know is an 80s movie about people using this like dead guy's body to throw parties at his house. Really weird concept for a movie. They were like trying to make it look like he was alive. These dudes just really carried him in there, peeled open his eyes, were like making his mouth talk with their hand. No, I'm fine. I'm here to get my pension. You know, I'm just imagining how obvious it must have been if literally everybody there was like, oh my gosh, calling the services. You know, when they called like the 911 version that they've got over there, they were like, wait a second, you're telling me that 2 dudes just carried a dead guy into the post office? I don't know, man, something's wrong with him. Either he's comatose or something, but yeah. And they're like, okay, sure, man. It's not even April 1st yet. I don't know why everyone's trying to mess with us. They get there, sure enough, there's just actually this scheme going on. I feel like, you know, there's a lot easier ways to get money other than like digging up Grandpa and carrying him to the post office, you know. Maybe in their grief, they were just doing things that other people wouldn't understand, dude. I just don't really know why you would just see Grandpa's dead body and first things first be like, bag collection imminent. Y'all thought it was over. Ahaha, I got Grandpa's pension. No money was handed over, and it's understood that the deceased man is well known to the 2 men who moved his body. A local woman living beside the post office told her how her daughter witnessed the 2 men carrying a man into the shop. She was leaving my house and said the man looked unwell and his feet were dragging on the ground. Well, on the bright side, I guess this lady's daughter can consider herself a health expert. She saw a dead body and went, ooh, he doesn't look too good. I mean, she wasn't wrong though, was she? He probably was not feeling too good. I also love how the article feels the need to point out that like the old man was very well known to the 2 men who were carrying him in. I don't know if that actually makes this situation better or worse. Like, is it better if they dug up a stranger's grandpa and took him to the pensions office to get, you know, some money, or is it worse because it's their grandpa? You know, either way, it's horrible, but on one hand, you're like, ooh, you did this to a stranger. On the other hand, it's like, that's your grandpa? I don't know, regardless, I just love that they felt the need to specify that, you know, because it doesn't actually make any of this better. Regardless, you're still the dude who tried to take a dead body to the post office to get some money out of it. I mean, honestly, dude, I don't even know how they thought that this was going to go well for them. Like, seriously, they had to have just watched Weekend at Bernie's or something and thought that the entire world just was not going to question anything about this. You know it's bad if people start questioning you and you're not even at the post office yet. Like, if people are just walking out of their house and being like, what is wrong with that dude? He looks horrible. Your plan's gonna fail. And if your plan at any point involves using a dead person to convince people to give you money, just quit the plan, because it's weird and you shouldn't do it. The woman, who did not want to be named, said there was a queue outside of the post office at the time. It's a small shop and you're only allowed in there 3 at a time with social distancing, and people were in shock as they thought he was having a heart attack, she said. I love that they went to a place with a line too, dude. Like, each update just gets dumber and dumber. The entire plan, absolutely stupid. The fact that they went, saw a line outside and said, well, whatever, we'll just wait in line with this dead guy and nobody's gonna catch on. Like, dude, do you think literally nobody pays any attention ever? These dudes have to have played enough GTA where they think that people in public are as stupid as Grand Theft Auto NPCs if they actually thought this was ever going to work. And even then, dude, like, it's just so bizarre to me because, like, I don't know, maybe I'm weird for this. The idea of dead bodies freaks me out. I do not want to be near one. I especially don't want to be carrying one and like holding it up in line. No, thank you. I didn't realize that was a weird thing to feel. Oh yeah, grandma died sick, dude. If we prop her up in the front window for at least 6 more months, we can keep getting her social security checks. It's like, or okay, you could just like not do that to grandma. And you know, you could not just be carrying around dead bodies places
places and posing it in areas. I feel awful for the staff. They suffered so many robberies over the years, they're worn out. I've got a 12-year-old daughter. I'm trying to explain to her what happened, and I'm not sure where you even start. It's awful. Dude, imagine being the workers here. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about the people in line, the people that had to witness all of this. But, like, imagine being the person that had to look at them and go, no, I'm not going to give you the check for the pension. The guy's obviously dead. Like, that's got to mess you up, bro. I'm sorry. You never expect to be seeing stuff like that when you get the job at the post office, you know? If you're a paramedic, you just kind of got to accept the fact that you're going to see some, like, messed up body parts or whatever. Comes with the territory. You don't really expect to have to be interacting with dead bodies when you picked your career as a mailman, you know? You were like, awesome, I'm gonna deliver the mail, rain, sleet, or snow, it doesn't matter where we go, baby. But now you're out here having to tell this dude that no, you can't crash in or cash in grandpa's pension after he's kicked the bucket. And I especially don't understand robbing the post office, all right? You know, I didn't even realize that the post office was a place that had money in it. They're like, they've dealt with so many robberies. You're telling me that someone robbed the post office and then was like, hey man, I got $200 in stamps, and then went and did it again? My goodness, I didn't realize that stamp collecting was coming back in so much popularity that people were literally breaking into post offices. If you rob a post office, that might be the most lame thing you could rob. You know, I disagree with robbing things in general, but like, you know, there's a certain art to stealing from a casino or something. Stealing from a post office is like the finger painting of robberies. Mayor of Carlo, Fianna Fáil, Councillor Ken Murnane expressed shock at the news. I heard there was a commotion in the post office, he said this evening. I go by there all the time and it's not busy. Normally there's a queue out the door. I was absolutely shocked to hear about what happened. I can't believe anyone would think something like that. It beggars belief. I'm shocked. Well, dude, yeah, what did they expect the mayor to say? You know, like, there's sometimes you see a headline and you're like, obviously, this is not good. People shouldn't do this, you know? And then they're like, what do you think, mayor? Well, what do you think they think, dude? Do you think that they're suddenly super in favor of people taking dead bodies to the post office, you know? It's insane that we live in a time that you have to clarify that you're like, oh, yeah, don't do this. It's bad to take dead people to the office. We should just all be in agreement that this is bad, you know? Mayor, what are your thoughts on the maniac running around biting off people's noses? I don't like that, personally. I don't like to bite off people's noses. Wow, thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's like, you know, man, I just feel like there's certain things we can all agree is shocking, and a dead body being taken into the post office to try to get the pension is definitely up there as something we agree is shocking. Honestly, though, my question is, are they gonna get in any trouble for this? Like, are they just like, oh, you guys, you hooligans trying to cause a ruckus at the post office, you goofballs, go put him back in his grave, you silly billies? Or, like, is there a crime for this? I'm assuming this has gotta be illegal somehow. I mean, I'm not an expert on law, but I feel like taking a dead body somewhere and trying to use it to, like, get their money has to be illegal. You know, it's gotta be some type of fraud, right? Because, you know, if somebody takes me to the ATM after I'm dead and, like, it uses my fingerprint, because I'm assuming by then future technology is going to be all there to withdraw all of my money, I'm not cool with that, bro, okay? Yeah, it's my body, but, like, hey, I'm not down. I just feel like at a certain point you gotta be like, hey, it's probably not worth the bag. Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. I post a video like this just talking about something weird or random every day. So yeah, subscribe if you're new. Other than that, link to the intro song down below. There's also a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, or you could use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout. It's a way to get a discount on G Fuel, and it helps me out. I'd appreciate it. The other two things in the description. First is a link to my Spotify show. If you want to listen offline, or, you know, just listen on Spotify, a link to that will be at the top of the description. And the last link's going to be a link to my merch store. If you want to go ahead and get yourself the coolest t-shirt to ever exist, a link to that's going to be down there, so be sure to go do it. And yeah, on that note, that'll do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.